as we move through, because we need your advice.
All right.
About these little cities. And you saw some of the images and pictures I sent you in the past
I
about
did.
what we're trying to do.
I do love the name Malmesbury Heights.
It's Malmesbury Heights?
I do love that.
Yeah, I came up with that. But Malmesbury Heights. What's Stony Creek's city called? Do we have a name for Stony Creek City yet?
Not yet. We have 6 options and another class is gonna vote on them.
Oh, nice.
Are you recording this, Karen?
Yes, I'm recording right now.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Do we have what?
Nothing.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get started with the first question. What is your name and can you spell it for my friends so we get it right?
Oh, certainly. So it's Kristi Trevarrow, and Kristi is Kristi, and Trevarrow is Trevarrow. Some people need pens, apparently. I'll wait. So everybody have paper. Some people need pens.
You know, it's hard. It's just hard.
There you go. Okay. I appreciate
Really
that.
hard.
Okay, do I need to do it again?
Yes, please.
Okay, Kristi, Kristi. Trevarrow is Trevarrow.
And your job title?
I am the executive director of the Rochester Downtown Development Authority, or DDA.
The director.
Executive director.
Sorry, higher level.
It's fancier.
Executive director. Must get paid more money than the executive level.
Yeah,
Something like that.
not so much.
Yeah.
Not so much. That's okay though.
All right, so executive director of the DDA. So the DDA stands for Downtown Development Authority. Now, bonus points here. Does anybody know where the DDA is downtown? Like, where is it located? It has a physical space. Slightly off. Slightly. Anybody know? Anyone in Stony Creek know where the DDA is at? No? Oh, we have no. There was a thumbs down there.
Oh.
Okay, so where are you located?
So we were upstairs, so it would have been harder to find us. Until COVID, we actually took what was going to be a temporary space is now permanent. So we're at 431 Main, about 2 doors south of the Bean and Leaf.
You know the little coffee shop, the Bean and Leaf on the corner? And it's called the
Downtown Collaboration Studio.
Collaboration Studio. It has a beautiful white facade, gorgeous collaboration sign above it. And they have lovely window displays. And you can pop in anytime.
Come see us.
Yeah, really fun. Lots of art in there. Thanks for joining us, Alex. That's fine. Thank you for apologizing. How long have you been working for the DDA?
I've actually been at the DDA twice. So I was there originally for 6 years as their marketing coordinator, left for a couple of years, and then I came back as DDA director, and I've been the DDA director for 17 years. 17 and a half. Wow.
Well, this is fine, good. I've been in this
right?
room for 20 years.
Yes.
I mean, I would have got out for good behavior by now if I'd gone to jail.
We all know that Ms. Malmesbury is not going to jail because of good behavior. So I think we all know that.
Yes. All right. How can the DDA support business owners? Why is it important for a city to have a DDA? Why do we need one?
All right. So just to back up for a second, DDAs, Downtown Development Authorities, only exist in 5 states, of which Michigan is one of them. So it's important to have, going back to your original question, it's important to have either a DDA or a Main Street organization. Basically, it's an organization that is dedicated to the vitality of your town. So it's through special events. It's through, unfortunately, maintenance, which isn't a real exciting thing, but it's for every flower that's planted, every bench that's placed, making sure the light poles stay lit and painted. It's about business recruitment. We call it business development, which is bringing businesses in, but then also retaining the ones that you have, because there's no point to bringing a business in if you're not going to take care of them and help them be successful. Otherwise, you're just going to have to go and get more businesses. And it's an organization that brings the community together, listens to the community, engages with the community, finds out what the community wants, and tries to deliver it downtown.
So I think Nick mentioned this, that do you pay some of Nick's wages?
Yes, I pay 38% of Nick Vanda's salary, and as he will be happy to tell you if he was here, that makes him my bitch.
What?
It's not even 8 o'clock. Look at that.
Oh
Yeah,
my God. Did anybody just wake up?
seriously.
Yeah, a couple of people just woke up. Did
But-
anybody in Stony just wake up then because a bad word was said? Look at that. Look at that.
If he was here, he would tell you that.
38% of his salary is paid by your money. And how do you get your money?
So the way that the DDA gets money, okay, this might get a little bit, I'm going to try and keep this as non-murky as possible. So the way that the DDA gets money is we get it through tax dollars, but it's not an extra tax. So the benefit of having a DDA, so let's just say when we first started back in, gosh, it was 1983, what they did is that was what they call our base year. So that year our budget was 0. So then through the different things that we were able to do to increase property values, whatever, our taxable value went up. And so we got to get the increase. So let's say that the city at that time was receiving $1,000. I'm just using this as a round number. Let's say the city was receiving $1,000 in taxes. After the DDA did a little bit of work the first year, they got, let's say, $1,100. The DDA would get $100 because that was the increase, what the work that we did increased property values. City still got theirs, we got ours. So as time goes on from 1983, our very first year budget, I think, was like $15,000. Our budget now is 1.8 million.
1.8?
1.8.
$1.8 million is invested every year.
No,
Oh,
more. So the 1.8 is from the DDA. We have a whole nother organization under our umbrella called the PSD. And through that, that is an assessment on the businesses. That goes off for promotions and events, plus all the fundraising we do. So that adds another 700,000 for a grand total of 2.5 million that the DDA invests in the downtown on an annual basis.
so $2.5 million
Yes.
is invested on an annual basis.
Mhm.
And what does PSD stand for? Just remind us.
Principal Shopping District.
So when Nick was here, he showed us that principal shopping district. Does anybody remember what color it was on the map? Red? I thought it was blue. Am I wrong? It's blue.
I
It's
don't know what
blue.
Abby showed you, but I'm guessing it's
Anybody
blue.
remember at Stony? I'm trying to get Stony involved. Nobody knows. Everybody's shrugging.
I think we thought it was blue.
Yes, we are correct. Thank you. They're smarter than us, just so you know. Okay, so $2.5 million is invested on an annual basis, and that's the key here, annual basis. And so what events do you do on an annual basis, and what are you responsible, and what's your favorite and why?
Oh my. Okay. So when we first started PSD, we only did a few events downtown. Now we have over 130 event days every year. That includes the downtown farmers market, larger events like that. It includes dancing in the street, sidewalk sales, movies in the moonlight.
Okay, slow down.
Sorry.
They're all glazing over, and they're like, what? Hang on
Do I
a
need to
second.
swear again? Would that do something?
Maybe.
Okay, just trying.
Okay,
I'm
so let's just back this up a second. And you're gonna answer this question, but
Yes.
we're creating Mulsbury Heights, and we need
Yes.
a draw. Like, we need reasons why people want to create a business in my city,
Mhm.
and also why people want to come and visit our city and live in our city.
Mhm.
Okay, so what you're talking about, these events are draws, right? These are like activities that people want to be involved in, which brings you into the city. So starting with the farmers market, we need a farmers market in Mulsbury Heights. We need one, okay? We need that. Second thing you said was dancing in the streets. Write that one down, gentlemen. Dancing in the streets. I'll get you dancing in a minute if you don't start writing these down. Dancing in the streets, farmers market. My favorite is Posed. Has anybody
Yes.
seen Posed? When they have live mannequins in the windows.
Would it help if I gave you my super secret event planning strategy?
Do I get it for free?
You get it for free.
Oh my gosh.
Usually I only roll this out at the national convention when I speak, but when you're planning events for a city, I always plan within 4 categories. All right, Oh God, extra credit. There's 4
I'm
categories,
turning it
everybody.
over. I made 4 categories.
Holy crap. Okay,
Okay.
here we go. Hopefully it's going to be as impressive. I feel like there's a lot of buildup.
There is a lot
pressure.
of buildup.
A lot of
4
pressure.
categories right there.
Okay, so
Let's go.
when you're doing event planning, you have to have a wide spectrum of different kinds of events. So the first thing you need to do. Nope, that's not number 1.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
just- okay. So you need.
Are we like sisters or what?
We are.
Yeah. Huh?
So you need register ringing.
What?
Register ringing. So you need,
Register ringing.
so you need events that are going to help your businesses, that are going to bring people down and make them spend money.
Spend money.
But you can't have every event like that because then people think you only want them to come to your town to spend their money.
Right.
That's not good. So you have register ringing. Then you have community building. These are things that you do that may not necessarily ring your registers, but it brings the community downtown, makes them feel like it's their place, inspires ownership.
Okay.
Then you want awareness building, because you can't just rely on your community to just support your community. Rochester proper only has 12,000 residents. They can't support a business district of 400 plus businesses.
Mhm.
So we look at our bigger trade area. So you have to look at, for awareness, what other things you're doing, because you can't event every day because it's just exhausting and it'll just become like nobody cares anymore.
Right. People won't turn up.
They won't. Yes, exactly. So awareness building is your social media. It's doing different things to keep you top of mind. So when people are thinking, oh, I want to go out to dinner tonight, I want to go somewhere, downtown is where they're thinking of, because you've done all this awareness building.
Okay, stop.
Yes.
You remember, teachers have to like reiterate 1,256 billion times, and
Sure.
it still doesn't sink in most of the time. Number 1, register ringing. I want to see dollar signs around that word, register ringing. Dollar signs. You're trying to make as much money as possible. And your number 1 register ringer is the big bright light show.
Correct. And keep in mind, your events don't have to just be in each individual category. Some of them click all the boxes, and that's okay.
Yes.
And some will click one. That's also okay.
So register ringing, big bright light show, humongous.
Mhm.
2, community building, but this is not asking people to buy stuff, but this is inspiring ownership, trying to get people to like really enjoy Rochester. Now, I'm afraid that these little kiddywinkles in this room here, when we talk about Rochester, are not that impressed.
Well, you guys suck then. What the hell?
I know. They think
That's my job, people.
they think that Birmingham has what it takes to draw them there.
Is it because it has chains? Is it because they have chains?
It has stuff for him to do there.
Really? What do you like to do?
We don't have that.
Okay, so just let me, I'm gonna stop you for 1 second. So can you walk in downtown Rochester? We got sidewalks and everything. It's super cool. Is there a park? We have a ginormous park. You don't know where the Rochester Park is, dude? A ginormous
Okay,
park. And
don't
it's
let-
bigger than Shane
Don't
Park.
let him fool you.
No,
Nope.
no. Across by the police station.
We're gonna go take you into town.
Oh yeah, that one. It's got a band shell, everything. It's bigger than Shane Park. It's in Birmingham, just saying. And then Brooklyn Pizza used to be here, but people didn't like it, so it went out of business. But you can go to Giorgio's, you can go to Grant's, you can go to Bologna's. It used to be here. Yeah, actually, it used to be where Funky Frog is, but it only lasted here so long because they didn't try so hard and people didn't like it. Brooklyn Pizza. It was the same business. It was the same people.
John hates Rochester.
Okay, all right, let's back up. Remember I talked about trade area? It's also called knowing your audience. Dude, obviously you're not my audience.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Not everybody's my audience. It's
All right,
okay, but don't
stop,
tell me I don't have a park with
No
sidewalks.
no arguing here. Okay.
Have you been seriously? I don't have a park with
She's
sidewalks.
gonna fight to the death. Okay, 3, awareness. John doesn't know what we have in the city. We're gonna take John to the city.
Go back to 2 for a second. Did you need an example here?
Yes, can I have an example for number 2, please? Community building.
Farmers markets.
Farmers market, doesn't cost much. And
What's that?
what?
Yeah,
The
lights
do, yeah.
do that too?
Yep,
They
yep.
sure do.
And then number 3 was awareness through social media. The lights,
Lights
yes,
again,
the lights.
yeah.
And then what was the 4th thing? I didn't get to that.
4th is fundraising.
Fundraising.
So you have to have fundraising events because at a certain point, if you want to put on events, you have to have money. And within Mosbury Heights, you have to keep in mind that you're going to have a lot of budget to do a lot of things, but a lot of times fundraising or events go to the bottom of the pile because you think, well, you have to plant your plants, you have to water your grass, you have to cut the grass. There's a lot of have tos. Events sometimes are would like to. I don't agree with that, but some people think that. So you have to have some fundraising events, things that you do so that you can continue to do all of the other
So
types
what
of
would be an
events.
example of a fundraising event?
Festival of Trees.
Festival of Trees. Can you explain more about Festival of Trees? Because I'm sure they have no idea what that is.
Yes. So Festival of Trees is our largest fundraiser for the Big Bright Light Show. So we get community organizations, sponsors actually design and decorate full-size Christmas trees. 7 foot
Gorgeous.
and 4 foot.
Gorgeous.
We have a fundraising event where we have a cocktail preview, sell tickets. People buy tickets, they come to it. I get them really drunk and they buy Christmas trees from me and I deliver them to their homes.
She's not wrong.
I'm not wrong. Trust me, the year that we had with COVID, we still did the event, but we couldn't do it where we wanted to. And we didn't have a liquor license where we did do it. So I couldn't apply people with alcohol. So I actually had to make them go drink first and then come to see me.
Because
so that
they'll
then they would
spend
their
more money because they're more
Yes.
loosey-goosey then.
Correct. So that event generates about $50,000 for us. Not every event is going to be at
50
that.
grand?
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Wow.
I know.
We should do a Festival of Trees, Caitlin. We should do one at Rochester Community Schools. Look at that thumbs up.
It's a pain in the tail. I'll tell you that. It's a lot of work. But
Okay,
yes.
so segueing down, and remember, now as we go through this, we're trying to sell this to John. Right, we're trying to sell Rochester to John because he has no idea
John's-
what we can do. Okay,
Sweet.
20 years. See, he's coming around already.
Gotta be minimum 35 years old with like 2 kids.
But we'll talk about that in a second. What makes Rochester unique? So the unique value proposition. What makes us unique? Yes. Oh,
I have one.
fabulous.
I have one antique shop.
Can you please be quiet and listen to the boss?
Come on. There's a reason why we don't have chains. Because we don't want them. We turn them away. Just FYI.
No chains in Rochester. No, thank you. So what makes us unique? No chains?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at our downtown compared to a lot of other downtowns, we think what makes us unique is that over 95% of my businesses are independently owned and operated. We are people that are local people. They've invested their time, their money, their livelihood in our downtown. That's why we embrace the village. We embrace all of the little shopping centers that are around because they have all those chains and that's awesome. Go there. People in our community need those things. But downtown, we decided a long time ago that what makes us different is that when you come downtown, you can see stores there you won't see anyplace else. And that's a value to us.
Right. So they're independently owned by the people that live or surround Rochester. But like we were saying to Nick, so you still have franchises. It's just that they're independently owned and not
Correct.
corporate owned.
Correct.
So for instance, Penn Station, the Marconi family and now passed on to the son. There are several locations of Penn Station, but it's still owned by a Rochester person.
Correct.
What about the glass company?
So that's a local chain. Those I don't want to say we don't mind, but C actually was at the village. They came to us when they got, couldn't, well, there's a whole story behind that, but never mind. They came to us and they're super happy with us. But C is a Michigan-based chain. And so there's a few of those, like Catching Fireflies has 3 locations. I guess if you wanted to, you could call that a chain. Cruise and Muir, which started with us, actually has multiple restaurants. So I guess you could call that a chain, but it's a locally owned.
But again,
chain.
it's not a corporation.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to find 75 of them in Michigan. Like
Right.
Cruise and Muir, you're going to find 7.
Right.
Catching Fireflies, you're going to find 3. So
Okay,
smaller
so
than
that's what makes us unique is that we are independently owned businesses,
Yes.
right? Which is what you guys are going to be in Mulberry Heights. All of your independent businesses that you're creating are your business. You bring it to Mulberry Heights and I'll say yes or no whether I'll allow you to operate. Yes. What types of businesses do we have the most of in the city?
Restaurants, 100%.
We said restaurants.
90% of which we said
90%
90%, is it? Like 90%?
majority.
Wow.
Did you say insurance?
Yeah, like friends. No, they're all of the Dimension Plaza, every one of them.
Right, that's one building. And then not insurance, there's, okay. I'm not even gonna get
Okay,
it. But no.
tell us, Kristi, because you are the knowledge, you know.
They're actually tied. It's restaurants and salons. No one has any excuse to either be hungry or ugly in my town. We have it all.
no excuse, I gotta write that down. No excuse to be hungry or ugly.
Yes, that is correct.
I
Restaurants
think
and salons.
I
are neck
might
and neck.
use that as my slogan for Mulberry Heights.
Oh, that's good. I'm the executive director of the DDA, so we manage the downtown.
Are you not writing anything down today? Oh, God. What businesses are we lacking and you would like to see added?
Are we asking this question of me or of them?
You.
Okay.
I don't care about what they say.
Wow. Okay,
No,
so
it's okay.
we did a visioning session just back in September. And we asked, I know, we loved having you with the first one. But so we asked that question of what people are really looking for downtown. And the two things that came up and had come up when we did the visioning session a couple of years ago is that people want entertainment downtown, whether that comes in the form of live entertainment venue, some type of movie theater. Did you say entertainment? You told me I don't have parks and sidewalks, dude. No one put the coin in your jukebox. Just hang on. Okay. Look, here's.
It's okay.
It's okay. Okay.
Entertainment.
Calm down. Just hang on. Did I say? Well, okay. Now I'm like approaching him. Dude,
Do not. Okay.
do not engage.
Do not engage. This is what John does. It's hilarious. Number two. Let's move on from
Hilarious.
entertainment.
Okay. So anyway, entertainment was one. The other one was some type of.
You were right, John. Let's just say you were right.
I was.
Okay. Okay. Accept it. Accept it, John. Okay. Next one. Number two.
People are talking about a year-round market or market hall because we don't have a grocery store in downtown, and a lot of people like to come downtown. They want to do all their stuff in one place. So
Who's my grocery in my city? Where's my grocery person? Not here today. We have one grocery store.
that's good. You need it.
Okay.
That's one thing. We hear that all the time. But back to entertainment, they're talking about whether it's a live event venue indoor or doing something outdoor, like a town square.
We have a town square.
You better have a town square,
Yeah,
otherwise
we
that's
have a
going to
town
totally crush this. Or doing a movie theater, something like that. But it's something where people
Okay.
can go and do some kind of smaller entertainment. They're not talking about an LCA or something like that.
Okay. Caitlin, do you have a town square? Caitlin?
We'd love to have one. We've actually talked to Imagine. We've had a lot of developers look at property and things like that.
We haven't developed like all the municipal things yet. They're in groups and we're gonna do that next week.
Okay.
So
We would encourage that.
we'll definitely consider it. Do you guys need a mediator over there too?
Yeah, we do. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. I'm going to
Sure
kick
are.
John out in a minute.
Sure are.
All right, love you. Bye. All right, what is our current occupancy rate and any news on any new businesses coming soon?
So we're at what's up? 97. John, do you ever think about being right? Is it like inherent? You have to have that?
Yes.
You're not hugged enough as a child? Like, what's the deal? Sweet. Okay. Anyway, 97% is our occupancy rate. We really didn't lose many businesses during COVID from a lot of the different things that we did to support our businesses during that time.
Yeah, you did. I mean, you really didn't lose.
We did. We thought
You were amazing.
we tried.
Support.
But new businesses that are coming, I don't have a lot of open space right now, but one that's coming is now Pure Green, which is it's a locally owned juice franchise. So they do cold pressed juices. I think they are going to do some kind of smoothies. They're
Where
still-
are they going into?
So they're going in next to Main Street Billiards, where it used to be Main Street Tuxedo. That was unfortunately one of my casualties because nobody needed tuxedos. For the
Because there
last
was
2
no
years.
event.
No place to go.
Oh,
Unfortunately, yes. And that was a locally owned tuxedo shop too. So
Yeah.
yes, but so Pure Juice is coming, or Pure Green rather, it's juice. And then we're waiting on a name for this business. They have a location in Oakland Township called the Silver Shamrock. It's a place where they do prepared food. You can come in and they'll show you the menu for the week and you can grab, whether it's, lasagna, garlic bread, whatever. They're doing a slightly different concept where you can just pop in there for the day, grab a sandwich, grab smaller things. And so it is like a full-on meal. And they are going where.
Kristi, sorry, you were talking really fast when you were explaining that business. Can you say it again?
So,
For the Silver Shamrock, I think you said it was called.
Absolutely. Hey, Stoney. So Silver Shamrock it's sort of a catering business, but you can walk in, they'll put up for the whole week the types of meals you can get. So you can buy full meals for your family. Whereas this location is actually going to have, you can walk in and get, just a sandwich, just a snack, those kinds of things. So it's made for walk by traffic. I believe they do. Yes.
They were a really good one.
Yes. Yes. They're taking Moss and Ivy, which was on 4th Street. Katie, who had that business, she's actually expecting and decided she just wants to be a stay-at-home mom, so she shuttered her business.
Oh, from Boston Island.
Yes.
All right. This is a big question because that's why I give you a lot of space. If you were to advise a city planner of Malmesbury Heights, what key components or strategies would you tell them to include? So we're building a city from scratch. I heard, if I'm correct, that you said that we should have some kind of park or some kind of town square action. So we already have that checked off. What else would you suggest?
Definitely the grocery. Definitely some type of entertainment. Have you talked about sizes of buildings?
Yes, so we have zoning. So if I'd like zoning to talk about what we've done, and it's a shame because we have it here, but it's kind of been destroyed.
So
I can, yeah, I'll move this around. Talk about zoning, guys.
so how many stories?
So this is a couple of prototypes we have already. So we started building, Stoney, if you want to just look at the screen for a second. We started building, this is my little Rose Salon and Spa. And then here is AC's Tech. So we just started with the boxes, printing stuff out. We haven't made them 3D yet. No, they're not 3-dimensional yet, but we're getting there. So we're looking to make the place where people work. This is our work building. It looks like a skyscraper. So all the people work here, and then they leave work and they go and look at the local businesses to frequent them and spend their money.
Where's your residential?
Oh, I'll show you that. Just hold my little microphone. Look how cute my microphone is. It's so adorable. Okay, zoning, come up here for a second. There's that town square. Yes. There's your key over there. Yeah. I'll explain it a little bit.
Okay, so our residential, we put by the school. And,
Gentlemen.
And then there's one on the other side too, because we know not everyone wants to live by the school. And then we have some we're thinking smaller retail shops in between the two residential areas and then the medical building. But the main shopping district is going to be over here, and then like a big entertainment and stadium is going to be by the shopping district.
But again, this is just a sketch. We need advice.
I have a question. Why are you not putting residential on your upper floors of your retail? Because not everybody wants to live in a neighborhood.
It could be on the upper floors. We just wanted to make sure that like the neighborhoods and stuff too.
Sure. I mean, but if you look at downtown, for instance, there's both, and there's so much demand for upper floor housing. That's not just a Rochester thing. That's a trend going worldwide, especially you see millennials, Gen Xers or Gen Zers, they want to go upstairs. They don't want.
Well, it's a very British thing.
Well, they don't want to own, they want to rent.
Right.
So you have to keep in mind, you have to have smaller units for that kind of thing. And also people that kind of come in, go out, that sort of stuff.
So, so the point that we should put in that section then is we should provide all types of housing. Correct? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, because if you're talking about that, you'd want to attract different types of people. People have different things. They call it aging in place in many ways. I mean, some people live, I think the average is, what do they say? How many places you live in your life? At least 7? 7 places that you're going to live in your life is average in terms of how many times you're going to move. Some people like to, grow where you're planted, that once they pick a place after they get married, that's where they want to stay. But sometimes you don't, once you get to the big house, then your kids are gone. You don't want the big house anymore. You want to stay nice, but smaller, but you still want to stay where you are. So you just have to keep that in mind when you're planning out your city. I'm fascinated that you didn't put retail all around your square and then put everything else behind.
And again, it's a sketch.
I'm just asking.
So zoning, the question was, why did we not think about putting business all around the square?
And then put everything else behind so that you have that focal point. So then your businesses get more benefit for being right off the square where you're going to produce events.
Yes. We were having a little argument about that.
Because parks ones, the whole park. So it was
I can't tell you enough how having a nice big open space will benefit your town, because you can put your farmer's market right there. You can host events there. If you build it in the middle of your town and then fill it with stuff, that makes no sense. It's a town square. See it as a square.
So I guess one of the key things as an advisor of Wellsbury Heights is keeping that central space for events, the draw, bringing people. And then we talked about different draws. Like, didn't you say something about having like the biggest rock ever?
Yes, I
And
said
then
that.
tell us about the biggest rock.
Well, I want to see the biggest rock ever. Like,
So you would come to see the biggest rock.
I would.
See, I talked about when I went out to Yellowstone, I had to see the Corn Palace
Oh,
because it's on the road and you see sign after sign after sign. You have to go see the Corn Palace.
did you see it?
I did, and I was not that impressed, but I went to the Corn Palace. So yeah, we do need to come up with a draw to bring people in, and having a central space for that will really help us. And I do agree with making sure businesses benefit from that draw. So using all four corners is something that we probably need to consider. And again, we're just in planning stage, nothing set in stone. Don't get your knickers in a twist, people. It's gonna be fun. Look at his face, he's so excited. All right, any other things, city planner, that we should have as a key component of our city?
So I like the residential upstairs for sure. And then just keep in mind when you're making your sizes of your spaces in your buildings, make sure if you're looking for boutiques, they really want something more that's like smaller space, 1,500 square feet, leave space for a grocery. But if you are actually wanting chains, which is totally fine if that's what you want in your town, you're going to have to be at 2,500 square feet and up in terms of your spaces. You're not going to have as many spaces, but that's what chains are looking for.
We're not doing chains. We've
Sweet.
already decided.
Oh, all
that.
right.
They have to be a sole partnership.
Yes. So you want a variety of spaces. You don't want to just cookie cutter it and
Yes.
make everybody the same.
Well, and all their boxes are different sizes, so that would be dictated. But I was on a call about this city planning collaboration project last night, and it was discussed in the project, because remember, this is like step one of this project. We still have to do a marketing plan. We still have to do a business plan. We still got to figure out how we're going to pay for all this. And one thing that they talked about was having residential upstairs in the business. So that can help pay your mortgage or pay your rent, right? So if you have people upstairs in your business, you are going to be able to charge them for that space, which will help offset some of the expenses. So that was discussed in length last night. So consider that when you're looking at your financials. All right, every city needs a reason for people to want to live there, come visit and invest their money. In your words, what's Rochester's draw? Why do we want to live here? Why do we come visit? And why do we want to invest our money here?
I think there's, can I give two answers?
Yeah.
I think there's two things. The thing about Rochester, it's a what they call a bedroom community. It's a place where people come, they want to raise their families, and then it transitions from there. They like having a little downtown. They like being able to come down, go to the farmer's market, do our events, things like that. But then they like that we're sort of centrally located. You can easily get to 75, 59. You can get places from us. On the flip side of that, when I had gotten back to Rochester about 17 years ago, that was when there was recession coming. Downtown was starting to fail. We had tons of businesses. We had a lot of things going out, and we didn't really know what to do. And so one of the things that we talked about is what's something that would make not just Rochester people come and be proud of what we have, but would draw people from all over. And that's where the idea of the Big Bright Light Show came from. The Big Bright Light Show is without a doubt our number one draw for town for several reasons, and it clicks so many boxes for us. So Big Bright Light Show, as many people say it's an event, it was designed as an economic development driver. The reason is that the Big Bright Light Show drives 35 to 40% of my business's annual income.
35 to 40% of businesses' annual income.
During the days that the show is
that's
aglow.
a question.
Yes. Hi, Caitlin.
I read an article that said like the number of people that it brought to the city.
We
But
get
then
over 1 million people.
Okay, that's what it said. And I found it so hard to believe. So that's why I wanted to ask, but over 1 million people. Wow.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yes.
Crazy.
So yeah, brings over 1 million people annually to see us over those 35 days. $250,000 annually.
$250,000 to put all the lights up, to do the signage, to do the marketing paperwork.
No.
All that's no.
No, 250 is strictly the light show itself. Marketing and everything is across other things. That's probably another 50,000.
They told us that like in the 32-day period that businesses get their like out of their annual income, they get like 52%.
No,
Oh,
35
slightly high.
to 35 to 40.
It's still a big chunk. If you think of the whole year, and that's just like, a month and a bit, that's a lot of money. You could go on vacation for the rest of the year.
So, but back to light show. So economic development, obviously we wanted it to bring in for the businesses. We wanted to bring those registers. But then what started happening after that is that we started getting calls from businesses in other cities saying, hey, I never really thought about putting a business in Rochester, but it seems like you do a lot to support your businesses. I saw you guys on the news. We're going to come see you. And we've had that a lot where people start to come see us because they want to open businesses, and a lot of them have open businesses. But it also inspired a lot of community pride and ownership.
Yeah.
People love the Big Bright Light Show. They love bringing their friends and neighbors to see it. Their relatives who never wanted to come to Rochester for the holidays, they come now because they want to see the lights. Not
sure.
everybody loves the lights. I get it. People tell me that it looks like Vegas. People tell me it looks like a brothel. I want to know how they know what a brothel looks like, but that's fine. But people tell me these things. But I would say the most people, a brothel, Karen.
We don't need to do that. He's just
Just Google it. It's fine.
No, don't Google it. Please don't Google it in his school computer.
He's on his phone. It's fine.
Okay, please don't. Alex, no, please. Thank you. All right, so we have like 8 minutes left. Are there truly any questions from our Sony friends or you guys in the room? Do you want to clarify, back up, ask a couple questions? Because, this woman truly is a genius when it comes to this stuff. If you talk to any business in Rochester, they have a very strong connection with the DDA because they work together on providing services and products to their customers, but also that sense of ownership, that pride for the city. It's apparent, especially when it comes to fundraising for events. You have like some key players in the city that do amazing work for our community. So Victoria, you have a question.
I just wanted to know, because I work at Kristi, but why do you guys have 3 locations like downtown? Like, why did you do 3 of them?
We'll do something
Oh,
different.
no, I'm just asking. This is like, because there's other businesses. I'm just asking like 3 of them just downtown.
Because that's what Bill wanted to do. So Bill wanted to put Cruise Mirror on Main there because it was a restaurant prior to that. They had similar kind of food, but he really wanted to be in Rochester. The Village was actually his first location.
Yeah, that's
So then he did that. But then he really wanted to do a steakhouse concept. So that's when he opened Chop House. The tavern was sort of a late thing. That was Casey and Alex. They had always said that if that place ever came available, that they wanted to do kind of like this cool dive bar concept, and that being in their head for a while. So that's why they chose to do it. It's not a matter of me saying, hey, Cruise Mirror, open 3 restaurants here.
They just wanted to be downtown.
They wanted to be
And
downtown, and they make good money
And there's the
downtown.
needs,
Well, and there's
they have
brand
a great reputation.
it's brand recognition. If you put Cruise Mirror's name on it, there's a certain expectation of a level of quality and what you're going to get there, and they're killing it.
Caitlin has a question.
Go, Caitlin. Yeah.
I know that you mentioned that you work really closely with businesses, and obviously all of these events bring money to these businesses. But is there like more of like a day-to-day thing that you would say you do to help businesses be successful, maybe when they're just starting off? Or
Sure. So when a business comes to us, they'll start with Nick. He gets them through zoning, planning, all that good stuff, and gets them set up. Then they come over to us. So that's when we get into business retention. So we're going to be helping them with their social media. We're going to have different seminars that we do downtown, talking to them about anything that they need to think about for their business, whether it's financing, marketing, funding, anything you can think of for them, merchandising. Then when we have seminars, which we're getting back to now that COVID is finally out the door, we do marketing seminars for them. We'll bring in guest speakers, anything that we can do to keep going for them. But that's where all the annual awareness building comes in, because we can't just produce events all the time. It just won't ring true with
And all
everybody.
your networking. I mean, it's a huge networking piece too, because businesses buy from other businesses, business to business, but also there's connections. And if they need help and support, someone knows someone who can help them. But yeah, your networking is huge.
We treat our businesses like we're one big family. We don't always get along, but we all work together. So
Yeah.
that's how we treat it. And that's how it's always been. A great example from the connections you're talking about, businesses and relationships. When we found out that the county wasn't going to be doing fire and ice this year, we went ahead and put together an event called the Snow Globe, but we really wanted to bring back fireworks, but we didn't have the money for that. So I put it out on our Love Local Rochester Facebook page saying that we needed 5 sponsors at $1,000 each to give us that money so we could produce fireworks for that event. Within 4 hours, I had $10,000 in my hands because people wanted to see it. We built that relationship. They have this ownership of our downtown that I don't think I could have gotten that money 15 years ago. Right. But it's because you build on this relationship in this family and people know that we get things done.
Right. And again, that comes with 17 years of reputation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anything I've ever asked for, you've always delivered.
I try.
And it's just
If
incredible.
I can do it for you, I'll do it.
That's amazing. Any other questions? Yes.
I don't know if you're like in charge of this or like, control. What's the deal with the skate park?
I knew he was gonna ask.
So no, not mine. There's actually an independent group, a nonprofit that is working to fundraise for that. The city has, not my organization, but the city of Rochester itself has donated, has committed to, once they get the fundraising done for the skate park, they're donating the property to that. So it's all on the committee to start raising funds.
So there's nothing wrong with you calling the city, leaving or even emailing Nick Vander. You have a relationship with him now, right? He's been in class, you're part of his LinkedIn network, and asking the question and just saying, look, as a young citizen of this city, can you help me figure out what's left to be done about the skate park? And then get a little group together and rally around and get it done. Right? The money's there. I've heard them tell me several times that they've got money, but maybe not as much as they need now
Not as much as it,
because prices have gone up.
and there are grants
Caitlin?
that they tried for, so.
What, one more question. When obviously businesses had to close because of COVID, what kind of things did you guys do to support those downtown businesses during that time?
Sure. So during COVID, we sort of became a transitional organization. We couldn't do what we normally did. So when our businesses went home that day back in March, and we thought, we're like, oh yeah, see you in 2 weeks. Yeah. So that night I sat down because we had spent all day to try to figure things out, what we were going to do. I sat down that night and I wrote an email out to all of our businesses because we have everybody's emails and said, look, we're here for you. We quite frankly don't know what's coming, but we're going to be here for you. And then it was every day once we realized we were staying home longer. So we started doing all these online promotions, anything that we could do to keep that online awareness going, that top of mind awareness of support your downtown businesses. When it forced a lot of my businesses to go online, which was super helpful. So we kept doing that. Then once we were able to open back up, then we went and got all the PPE that we could get for people. So people needed gloves, they needed sanitizer, they needed masks. These are not things you can run to Target for. So we went and got all of that and distributed that to our businesses for free. We moved down to a first floor location. So when people needed us, they could come find us because people were lost and they didn't know what they needed, but they needed us. And then we created that Love Local Rochester brand that served as a rallying cry for people to not forget about downtown. And when our businesses reopened, people seemed to double down on how much they came to support our businesses because they didn't want to lose our downtown.
All right, we are going to have to button this up because it's time to go, and you can tell because they start shuffling and then they're on their phones immediately because, you know, it's like, oh gosh, I've been off them for 40 minutes. Woo! Woo, it's hard. I'd like to thank Kristi for coming in today. I appreciate her every single time I call her. She always is willing. Stony Creek, don't be shy. Kristi's your friend too. Same with Adams, that's going to look at this video later. You know, if you have a question or request, we can definitely help you for sure.
Thank you so much, Kristi. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to help.
All right, guys, have a good day. Safe travels home today. Icky roads. Love you.